Hey guys, and welcome back to a year in Minecraft with your boy Absolute Quality. Today is not year, but week two. We're in week two here. Week two, a lot of exciting things happened. Also, the saddest thing ever happened in my entire life. The saddest thing. This is the saddest episode of Minecraft to ever exist. More on that in a little bit. So let's go ahead and start with day 8 because that's where we begin week 2 at. So day 8 was a really big mining day. You know, I wanted to do a lot of mining, and I decided that in my strip mine, maybe if I went the other way, I might find some diamonds. I was absolutely freaking right. So I go down basically one strip, almost like I start going into the second strip, and I find 4 different nodes of diamonds. 4 different freaking nodes. And then I'm going even further on that second to third strip, and I find another node of diamonds. It was insane. I found literally 5 different nodes of diamonds in 30 minutes. It was unreal. I couldn't actually believe it. I literally couldn't believe it. I literally would stop and look, and my girlfriend was here, and so I'd turn around and I'd be like, you gotta be kidding me. This is not happening. I did not find more diamonds. It was ridiculous. It was actually insane. But yeah, so I actually went even further to the right. I found a little bit of an underwater cave, explored it for a couple seconds, and it really wasn't that cool, so I kind of said, heck it. But I went from 16 diamonds to 44 diamonds in that entire episode there. So, we had a big mining day. And then, I sat down and I did some stone cooking, and that was about it for day 8. Moving on to day 9, so I actually decided to name the man the boat sheep. So I gave him a prominent name of someone of the sea. He was Captain Wool. Captain Wool was now my new companion. He had been my companion since day 1, and he was going to be there until the end. Oh, Mr. Captain Wool. So me and Mr. Captain Wool, we went down to the town. We went to town, really, on my farms. I decided that I wanted to build a couple more around there. I didn't really finish all of the farms that I want to do. There's a lot of farms that I do want to finish, but I wasn't actually able to finish them. So I want to finish the next 2 farms that I was actually building up. And then, I gained a few ideas on transforming them a little bit. I don't want them to look the way they look. They don't appeal to me at all. So maybe later on in a month or so, we just completely redo them, change them up and make them actually look like somewhat decent. I have a few different plans for how I'm going to do that, but they don't look that all appealing to me right now, so I definitely want to change them up. But that was really all day 9 was. I just kind of worked on my farms. I cooked stone in the episode before, and then that's all I really did, and that's how I got the stone for what I was making for the farms. Moving on to day 10, so I was actually designing the bunkers just a little bit better, so I was changing them up, doing a little bit of this and a little bit. I liked some of the stuff I was doing. I actually saw some dogs in this new biome, so I had to move Captain Wool away from the edge of the ice because I don't want the dogs seeing Captain Wool and going to town on my man. That would be insanely depressing. So I kind of had to move him, but I got all of the bunkers really to the same place that I was doing all the bunkers, and then I found a design that I really liked, so I started going on that. And then I needed a lot more wood because of the design. I actually was putting trapdoors around the second layer of each of these, and it was actually just giving it a little bit more of that nice edge to it. It was also giving it a little bit of a color palette, and then it was also giving it a little bit of texture as well. It was giving it some depth, so the trapdoors kind of sit outside of the box of the normal brick, so it kind of gives it a little bit of depth and a little bit of texture as well that way. And so I'm not finished with them. I don't think I'm done with them. I want to still revamp them. I still think they look kind of ugly yet, but that's day 10. Moving on to day 11. Day 11, I ended up finishing on the farms, and I needed a rest. I wanted to stop doing the farms just because I was kind of getting a little bored with just hopping on and building for an hour and then hopping off. So basically, I needed a rest from the farms. I finished them up so that they're closed on the inside. They're closed on the top. so you're actually able to use them. And so I'll put some crops in there later this on day 11, but I wanted to just kind of stop. So I came back and I just wanted to kind of fish. So I started fishing a little bit and I caught some pretty awesome books. I was actually able to obtain somewhat of a god bow, not quite a god bow. It doesn't have power 5, but it has power 3 and it has all the other necessities. And I named that one Yeetus. And then I got the rod. So I actually caught another fishing rod, or no, I didn't catch another fishing rod. I combined the two that I had and made this pretty much a god rod. And so I was actually using that and having a good time catching a bunch of enchants and stuff for some of my gear. So I acquired the rod and Yeetus. So we got those guys in our inventory now. I also, and then I went back to the farms. I filled them up with carrots and potatoes, so I have those actually running. And then I started mining sand because I got all of this sudden this overwhelming, tick in my head that was like, hey, let's go raid the water temple. Let's do it. So I was like, okay, let's get some sand. We're going in. Moving on to day 12. Day 12, I kept mining some more sand. I kept getting basically rid of this little portion of sand from this island just so I could have the sand, because my main goal was to place sand all over the temple and kind of just show it and basically get it out in the open so that I can just mine it later. And then the saddest thing happened. Oh god. Oh god. Oh. I was boating away with Captain Wool and I fired an arrow of success. I fired an arrow of success. It didn't go forward. Oh god. It killed him. It killed Captain Wool. Oh god, it killed him. He was there with me since day 1. He hopped in my boat on day 1 and I killed him. Oh god. It's worse. It's worse than seeing him being killed by wolves. It was me. I did it. I killed him. I said I named him, and I said he would be with me until the end of the series. And you know what? That just prompted me to just murder him in cold blood out in the middle of the ocean, where he was most comfortable. At least he died doing what he loved, I guess. Oh God! So I named his remains, and I had to bestow a new leader in my boat. I had to bestow a new leader. Captain Wool was amazing, and I needed another person. So I enlisted Colonel Cluck as my new boat companion, and then we started the long process of putting sand over the actual temple. And the Elder was actually giving me a lot of problems, a lot more problems than I actually anticipated. I've never done this before, starting with just, placing sand all over the thing. I thought maybe that it would be easier and I wouldn't get, mining fatigue every 4 frickin' seconds. So I actually had a lot of problems, so I brought over a cow. And that didn't solve him, because he was still, after I drank the milk, he would instantly mining fatigue me, so it wasn't even worth it. So it just wasn't enough. So I had to kill that elder. I killed the elder in the top of the temple because I thought he was the only one giving me problems. I was wrong. Every time I drank the milk, got mining fatigue. I had to go and kill every single elder in the freaking temple to do this. And then, I had to make the progress. I had to kill them. I had to get there. And then once I finally got there, I ran out of time. So I had to, stop for the day. So we're heading to day 13. Day 13, I ended up beating the temple. I killed all the elders. I started to clear it out as well. So all the sand that I was on the top, I was clearing out with torches so that we could clear this out. Eventually, I do want the entire thing cleared out. I really want prismarine for the temple, and I know I can make like a guardian farm, but I kind of just want to do this. I think this is kind of a cool thing that that had in my head, where all of a sudden there's just this giant block of nothing in the ocean. And so you would go into the ocean and you see this just giant hole and there's nothing in it, because I'm going to actually take all of the prismarine from the temple and put it into my big build that I'm going to use for my later giant base that I'm going to be having. And then, I began mining again. I just kind of went back into the mines. I kind of wanted more diamonds because I kind of want to get to a point where I can fight the Wither. That's kind of one of the things I want to do, I guess. And then moving on to day 14, the last day of this week, I wanted to do a little bit of just nether stuff for the very beginning of it. It was just kind of for fun, so I was just kind of chilling in there for a second. Nothing really interesting happened in the nether, but I ended up getting an enchanting table, and then I was actually able to get a silk touch pickaxe, which was basically what I wanted, so that I can get a bunch of stone and I didn't have to cook any more stone, because cooking stone is awful. I hate cooking stone. It sucks. It takes too long, and I just want the materials. I don't want to get cobblestone and have to cook it. But then, as I was like getting all of this stone, I was getting overwhelmed with some of the ideas. I cleared out some areas over by my farm, and I was like, you know what? Maybe instead of having just all of these bunkers in the same spot, maybe we kind of like move some of these bunkers a little bit further away, and then put some other types of farms in here, so it actually makes it like kind of like this little city type of thing. And so I'm getting all of these freaking ideas, and I just I needed to think stuff over, so I made a dock. I started just making a dock, I guess. It's not how I want it to look. It definitely doesn't look that great. I'm definitely gonna change it up, add a little more detail to it, make it so it actually looks nice. But yeah, I added a dock because I didn't know what else to do, because I didn't want to go any further, because I want to test a couple designs for some things. So it's really hard to detail stuff and get things to look good when you have very little time. So that is going to be the end of our Minecraft of week 2 for the year. We have 50 more weeks to go in this world, so I'm really excited for the rest of this. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and leave a like. And if you'd like to see more content from me, if you'd like to see the rest of these 50 weeks, go ahead and hit that subscribe. And I will see you in the next episode.